Good morning students. In today's class we are going to see about the S buffer register, that is serial buffer register, and what steps is required to transmit the data serially. So these two topics we are going to cover in this session. So as a first step, first we should understand what is meant by a S buffer register. S buffer is the mnemonics, or it is the keyword that we are going to use it for a serial buffer register. In case if you wanted to receive the data or transmit the data to be transmitted or the data to be received will be stored in your S buffer register. So it is a 8-bit register, and it will be used it will be used in your serial communication. For a data byte to be transferred via transmission line, you can consider one transmitter. So you consider one transmitter and one receiver. You can consider one transmitter. So the transmitter is represented with TXT, and you consider a receiver. So here data will not be available as a whole in this transmitter. Instead, there will be a register called S buffer. S buffer will store the data to be transmitted. So the transmitter will receive the data from S buffer, and once it receives the data from S buffer, it started to place the data serially or parallelly depending upon the modes of communication in the transmitting channel. Then it will be transmitted to the receiver. Once the receiver is received the data, it indicates the RI flag. RI flag will be set after receiving the data. Once it is received, the data will be available to the customer only when the receiving data is stored onto your S buffer register. This is the benefits of your S buffer register that is utilized. So next one is your the moment one. This is explained over here, and you could see here when the bits of data is received by the receiver, the 8051 will deframe it by eliminating the stop bit and start bits, making a byte out of the data received and then placing it in S buffer register. You can see one example, move S buffer comma hash D. So it is the example given over here. In this, S buffer is your register, okay. D is the data. So D is going to be your ASCII data. This ASCII data need to be moved to your S buffer register. So when it is moved, it means that data D is available in the S buffer register and it is ready for getting transmission. Next example is going to be S buffer comma A. A is nothing but your accumulator. The syntax for this particular instruction is going to be, so when you are going to write the syntax for this particular instruction, it is going to be the content of your accumulator is moved as content for S buffer register. For example, you can consider if I am going to use MOV A comma hash 0AH. So this is the data I am having in my accumulator. After this, if I give my instruction MOV S buffer comma accumulator, it means that after your assembler executes this particular instruction, the content of S buffer will be 0AH. So this is the operation that takes place for move S buffer comma A. So it copies the content of your accumulator onto your S buffer register. Next one, move A comma S buffer. So when we will be using this particular instruction, in the sense, this instruction is used if you wanted to transmit the data from transmitting end to your receiving end. Once the data is transmitted, again from receiving end, I need to transmit the data where the data can be utilized by the people. So for that, the received data will be available in S buffer register that will be moved on to your accumulator register. Therefore, the syntax for this particular instruction is your content of S buffer. So whatever data you received in at the receiving end, that will be available in S buffer register. So the content of whatever you are having, that will be moved on to your accumulator register, so that the client can see the output in accumulator register. For that sake, you are going to use this particular instruction. These are all some of the example. Now we can see how exactly we can transmit the data serially. So as a first step, I wanted to use like what is the mode of operation I am going to handle. For example, if I wanted to transmit the data using serial communication, my first step is I wanted to load my TMOD register. Why I need to load my TMOD register in the sense, here the structure of TMOD register is given. So in the structure, it is a 8-bit register. In this 8-bit register, the first 4-bit stands for your timer 0 and the next 4-bit stands for your timer 1. When you are transmitting the data serially, you are supposed to use only timer 1. So in timer 1, you have to use mode 2. Mode 2 means these 2 bits 1, 0. It represents mode 2. Since you wanted to operate this as a timer, I want to give 0 because this particular bit stands for C bar T bar, where C is your counter and T is your timer. Counter is an active high signal and timer is an active low signal. And the gate, when you are going to start the timer, whether you are going to start the timer by means of a hardware or software. So if you are going to operate it by means of software, then you have to give 0 over here. If you are going to operate it by means of hardware, then you can give 1 over here. And in all other places, you have to give 0. So when you consider the hexadecimal binary, 0010 stands for 2 and 0000 stands for 0. So 20H. As an initial step, first you need to load the TMOD register with the value 20, indicating timer 1 in mode 2 operation. Why here we are going to prefer mode 2 in the sense, mode 2 is nothing but 8-bit auto reload. 8-bit auto reload means in case if only one value, you consider you are going to save the TH. So once if TH is saved, then automatically you need to reload. Just reloading a value should make the operation continuous. For that sake, we are going to use this timer mode 2 operation. Then as you have utilized mode 2, only you are supposed to use TH register. You have to load this TH register with the baud rate. Baud rate is nothing but the data transfer, bits of data, how many bits of data is transferred per second. So according to this, we need to do the calculation and the value of the same will be loaded onto your TH register. The next step is you have to load your SCON register. To load your SCON register, suppose if I am going to operate it with the serial mode 1, that is mode 1 operation, where 8-bit data is framed with start and stop bits. For that, the value to be used is 50. You can use that SCON register bit pattern and you can use the same. Next, to transfer the data. So initially, the first 3 lines is mandatory. That is, first point indicates which mode of timer you are going to prefer to make it to operate, to make that data baud rate to be continuously loaded. Next, for that, the same TH is loaded with the baud rate for serial data transfer. And the third one is you have to load your SCON register. Next step, you need to start your timer. Once the timer is started, your data transfer is started to your data is getting transferred from your transmitter end to your receiving end. For that, you have to check your TI flag. TI is nothing but transmitting interrupt flag. This transmitting interrupt flag TI will be equal to 0 when it is getting transferred. Once the data is transferred, TI will be equal to 1. So here, as a next step, you have to check your TI flag. When this TI flag is set, you have to clear the same TI flag to get the data to get displayed continuously. Then the character byte will be moved on to your S buffer register. Suppose if you are transmitting the data to be transmitted has to be available in S buffer register. Suppose if you are receiving the data, once the data is transmitted, the data at the receiving point has to be loaded from S buffer register to any other register of 8051 for the client to view the output. These are all the steps that is required to transfer the data serially.